Welcome back to Elizabeth Plants. I'm Elizabeth, and today, by request from you guys, we are talking about my favorite online plant shops. So I've got just kind of a brief list of, I think, 7 plus a couple of honorable mentions and some pros and cons for them prepared. So we're just going to jump right through it. There are 3 categories that I've gone with. I've gone with regular websites, Etsy shops, and then honorable mentions. The difference between a regular website and an honorable mention is simply my experience is greater. The honorable mentions, I've maybe made an order or I browse them frequently, but I don't have a ton of information to give like a full review on them. Hey everybody, I just wanted to pop into this video really super quick and say that it has been sponsored by Teotronics. So this company is kind of like an electronics company, but they sent me these headphones to try out, and so that's what I'm going to talk about super briefly here, because I know you're here for houseplant content, not headphone content. I chose these from the list of products that they offered me because I thought it would be nice to be able to take care of my plants with headphones in instead of blasting things through the speaker, especially if I have guests over or something like that. So I chose these specific ones. They have multiple options on the website. These ones will be the ones linked below. So these are the Sound Liberty 92 Bluetooth headphones. They are not noise canceling. And they are semi-in-ear. So they just sit in your ear. They don't cancel noise, and they aren't snug into your ear, which does mean that they're not the most ideal for like bending over and picking things up, because at least the way my ear is built, they have a tendency to slip out because they are only semi-in-ear. So if you're looking for something noise canceling or that sticks into your ear, these aren't the ones. They don't have the little rubber slips on them, but they do have really good sound. They connect to all of my devices really easily. There is a link down below with a coupon code. So if you're interested in a headphone like this that isn't super noise canceling, so you can still hear what's going on around you and walk around your house and like do dishes and whatnot while you're listening, then these are for you. If you're looking for something that you can run in or like do gymnastics in or anything like that, they do have other options that have the grip and are a little bit more noise canceling, so you can browse their website. If you like, let's get back to the video. So first, let's start with my favorite shops. I've got my top 3 favorite regular website online plant shops. They are Gabriella Plants, Wellspring Gardens, and Greenspaces. I chose these 3 because I have made more orders from them, multiple orders from each of these shops. I browse them frequently, and I've had good experiences. So first, let's start with Gabriella Plants. I've got pros and cons for each of these shops. So the pros for Gabriella Plants are good pricing. I haven't ordered from them in a while, but back when I made like 3 giant orders from them, plus a couple of smaller orders from them, and I always felt like the pricing was really fair, especially for you got a pretty decent plant in return, not just like a dinky little one viner. You got like a good plant. For example, this guy is a Gabriella Plants order, and he's put out a ton of leaves since I've got him. He's also dropped a couple, and he was at least half the size when I got him. He was a good size. Also, they have a good selection. I haven't browsed them super duper recently, super frequently, but back when I shopped on them regularly, they had a good selection. I'm going to skip a couple of the pros because I feel like one of the cons goes against that. More recently, when I've been browsing them, they've been out of stock of a lot of plants that I would be interested in, and a lot of plants that they used to have in stock a lot. So that's a con, but that's a con that applies to a lot of shops in general, and also a lot of shops on these lists. Right now, the plant market is booming, and there is more demand than the shops can provide. So a lot of shops have been out of stock frequently or entirely, particularly with aeroids lately. So just keep that in mind while you're online plant shopping right now. So another is great packaging and great shipping. I have never had a box I shouldn't say the box doesn't come damaged, but the contents of the box has never come damaged. There is never really a excess of dirt mess. They packaged them really well, and I've had really great experiences with how the plants have arrived. And that just kind of leads to good overall experience. The website's easy to use, the plants show up well, healthy, good size. Overall, good experience. One other con that I've noticed more recently, and that's either due to their stock or due to my broadening of plants, but I've noticed more common plants on their website than rare plants. So if you're into the more common plants, at least here in the US, it's perfect for you. If you're looking for rare plants, Gabriella Plants may be a place to look, but you're likely not going to find a large majority of rare plants there. So that brings us to my second favorite plant, and these are, again, in no specific order. But my second favorite plant shop is Wellspring Gardens. I have now made, I think, 3 orders from them. Again, overall, good experience. So the pros, good pricing. I feel like they have pretty reasonable prices. I don't feel like I'm paying too much for any plant that arrives. They have a good selection. Now, when I go to Wellspring Gardens, I am specifically shopping for alocasia. So if you're going there looking for philodendron, I don't know if they even sell philodendron, let alone if they're good, because I've only ever shopped for alocasia there. If I am looking for a starter alocasia, that is where I go. And they have a good variety of alocasia. I have been able to order upwards of 10 plus different alocasia on different occasions. Granted, I don't still have them all today because of one of the cons. They are small plants. So this plant you get is going to be little. I didn't get this plant from them, but this is going to even be a little big for what you're going to get. You're going to get 2 or 3 leaves at about this size. So if you're looking for a big alocasia, this maybe isn't the plant shop for you. I would recommend searching more on Etsy or specifically browsing for adult alocasia. And Wellspring Gardens has very good shipping and packaging. When the box arrives, it's really small, and at first you're super worried that especially if the box was damaged. However, I've had great experience. Third on my list is Greenspaces.id. Most of my subscribers have come from my Greenspaces.id unboxings, so you're a little bit familiar with my experience. Pros of Greenspaces.id are good pricing. Again, I always feel like it's pretty fair pricing considering the plant, even some very cheap pricing in there. And they have a good selection. Now again, there's, the boom right now, so pricing has gone up a little bit and availability has gone down a little bit. That's natural. And I don't hold that against Greenspaces.id. I still feel like they have good pricing and a good selection. They have good packaging and shipping. Now, it's not cute, but it gets the plants here in good condition. I have had very few, if any, I can't remember, nothing stands out, experiences where the packaging was poor enough that the plant was damaged, or that the box was damaged and therefore the plants were damaged in shipping. Also, they have good customer service. I have had plants arrive not well, and Greenspaces gave me the refund according to their policy pretty quickly. It wasn't difficult connecting with them. I had a good experience. And finally, the final pro anyways, the website's easy to use. That is definitely a pro in my eyes. If I can't find the plants I'm looking for on your website, I'm not going to buy them. And then cons for Greenspaces. They have a lot of pros, but they also have a lot of cons, and they are all related to the fact that this is not a US-based shop, so shipping can cause some issues. You are, when importing plants, putting your plants at risk, putting your money at risk, putting sometimes your anxiety at a little bit of a risk. Because it's longer shipping. So these plants are in a dark box being thrown around for a longer period of time, most likely than your US plants are going to be. And right now, because of the pandemic, there's some kind of unclear practices happening between borders where plants are being heat treated or sprayed with something and they're arriving dead. I have not had this experience with Greenspaces, but I have had this experience with other shops, and I've heard other people have this experience with Greenspaces, so right now shipping with them is a significant risk. Also, there is more chance for your plants to arrive shocked, and there is more chance for your plants to get lost in shipping. So really the biggest cons have to do with the fact that you're shipping it, unless you live by them, overseas, or you're importing, or it's just a bigger deal than if I was buying a plant from, say, Florida and it's being shipped up to Michigan where I am. Next, let's talk about Etsy shops. So I've got, I believe, 3 or 4 Etsy shops that I want to go over. These are not the only Etsy shops that I like. These are just my top. I didn't want this video to be like super long, so I really narrowed it down to the best of my ability. So these shops I have made at least 2 orders from for the most part. The first shop is the New Plant Company. I have made, I believe, 2 or 3 orders from them. However, all of these orders have not been through Etsy. These orders have been through a third party, and overall I have had good experience. Now, because I was ordering through the third party until recently, I had an instance where a plant did not show up even though I paid for it. However, when I reached out specifically to the New Plant Company, they gave me a refund and apologized for the miscommunication. And I am now, while I haven't yet, I will be ordering directly from New Plant Company on Etsy in the future. So they've got good quality plants. My Alocasia Monster arrived from them. I've had like quite a few. I want to say my Thai Sunrise was from them, but I could be wrong. I've had quite a few really good plants, my Alocasia Buddhist Palm, and they all arrive in really good condition and really good packaging with minimal to no damage on the boxes, which I know is kind of more of a shipping thing and more of a experience thing, but it still says a lot when a plant arrives well despite shipping. The plants have all been really healthy. I haven't had, granted with all of these shops, I haven't had any pest issues that became big issues. So yeah, healthy plants, good experience, good customer service. The biggest con, if it matters to you, is that a lot of the time my plants have come in these like plastic containers, and plastic isn't super environmentally friendly. So if you'd prefer to order from a shop that is a little bit more environmentally friendly and packages with something biodegradable, this may not be the shop for you, but it doesn't bother me too much because I can reuse the plastic for other things. The next plant shop on this list, I have only made 1 order and I haven't actually received the plants yet. However, they are on my list strictly because of the customer service. While I'm unaware of how the shipping goes, how the plants arrive, anything like that, I am aware of the customer service. So I ordered from this shop back in spring, and I ordered through Etsy, used PayPal, and for whatever reason, PayPal grabbed an old address of mine, and I didn't catch it before the plants shipped out. I actually didn't catch it until I got the delivery message and went to go look for it in my mailroom. And it turns out the box was sent to an old address that is 3+ hours away from me. So the plants were then, after a couple of days, sent back to the shop. I was able to reach out to the shop and ask her if she would, revive anything that did show up. It was getting warm out, so I wasn't too excited for the plants to show up well. A little bit disappointed, but she said absolutely, and when they arrived she sent me pictures of the mess that had arrived to her, and she has been holding the plants, giving me periodic updates on their health throughout the summer, and is now shipping while they are much younger than they would have been had I gotten them in the first place. They are much smaller now. She is sending me those plants and I'm simply paying for shipping. So absolutely awesome customer service, and assuming the plants arrive in decent condition, 5 stars from me. The next shop is the Plant Farm. I've made, I believe, 2 orders from the Plant Farm and had overall good experiences. The plants have arrived healthy in a decent size. Packaging and shipping has been pretty good average. Nothing notably bad from these shops. However, some cons are that they're more often common plants or plants that you can buy at other shops, and their stock, again, is fluctuating right now. The final Etsy shop that I have is Botanicaz. Pros, healthy plants, good shipping, just like the plant farm. And again, just like the plant farm, the cons are that they're gonna be more common, things that you can get at other shops, and their stock is currently fluctuating a lot. I have, again, made at least 2, I believe 3 orders from Botanicaz. Good experiences. Now for the honorable mentions. I'm not going to go specifically into pros and cons of these honorable mentions, but these 2 shops that I'm going to say I've made 1 order from or have simply shopped at frequently since my 1 order. Neither orders were memorable in their packaging or anything like that. However, both of these shops, the plants arrived healthy. So the first is NSC Tropicals. So they're a little bit pricier, but that is because they carry more rare plants. They had average packaging, nothing notably bad, but I do browse their website frequently while I haven't made an order since my first one. And then similar is NSE Tropicals. Again, more pricey, but also more rare plants to have. I've made 1 order and I had an overall good experience, but their packaging was okay. I would say that their packaging was my biggest gripe because there was dirt everywhere, and I feel like that's avoidable. They can avoid it if all these other plant shops are able to avoid it. But the plants arrived healthy for both of these shops, and they were really good plants. For example, this guy right here, if you can see him, this is a cutting from it. He arrived in really good shape and I'm very happy with him. He grows, never had an issue, don't have any pest issues with him with either of these shops. So overall good experience. So those are my top online houseplant shops, a topic requested by you guys. Most of these are US based, however, not all of them were US based. These are plants I frequently shop at, whether or not I actually buy anything. I've had good experiences, overall good packaging, overall functional websites. I definitely recommend these shops, and they'll all be linked below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell if you want to be notified when my videos go up. It really, really helps if you give that thumbs up and subscribe. Lets me know that you like what I'm doing. Comment down below if you like any of these shops or if you recommend any other shops based on your experience, and I will see you next time.